Hello, welcome to GitLab Pipeline Series Part 6. In this series, we are going to learn how to scan the Docker images or container using GitLab pipelines. In your previous lesson in Lab 4, we have already discussed how to build and push Docker images into GitLab Container Registry and also how to push it into DockerHub Container Registry. So we have already discussed this and we have created a simple GitLab pipeline and using a Docker file we build the Docker image and push it into the content registry as well as to the Docker content registry. Today we'll see how we can scan the image by using the GitLab pipeline. So GitLab has some predefined template to to scan uh, to scan the Docker images, as well as there are other templates available for checking the dependency and the infra vulnerabilities. So if you go to this link I have already opened here, you can see it has many templates available. Here we can see the static application security check, all kind of templates are available. And for container scanning, you can see here container scanning GitLab image, you can see. So we can use this template and in our GitLab pipeline, and we'll try to scan the image. So if you come to the description here, you can see uh, we can find all the templates available for security check. And while scanning the Docker image, we have a different kind of threshold available as a variable. You can see CS severity threshold low, medium, high, and critical. So uh, it will scan the image and it will show all this kind of um, vulnerabilities. Okay, so these are the threshold that we can define, include in our pipeline. Suppose you want to stop the pipeline to proceed further or deploy into the or the execute the deploy job, we can define our threshold here. Okay, so if it is high threshold, then we can stop deploying or pushing that Docker images to the content registry, or we can stop to deploy into the cluster. Okay, so this way we can define our threshold. That I'll show you how we can do that using the pipeline. And also we have the log level we can define. Okay, what are the different log level we can include. These are the different log levels that we can include in our pipeline. Okay, so we come to the VS Code and see I have already defined this pipeline here. You can see I have three stages here: build, test, and deploy. So whenever we are uh, going to use this okay template. Okay, if you see here I have included this template, jobs container scanning GitLab dot hyphen ci dot yaml. Okay, so this template, it is already defined how it will scan the image in the GitLab pipeline. So basically it uses Trivy to do the scanning. Okay, so internally it uses Trivy utility to scan the uh, images. Okay, so here we need to include this template, and in that we need to also define a stage test. Because if you go here uh, under this container scanning GitLab, right, we can see we have it is defined under the stage test. Okay, so that should be always whenever we're defining our pipeline, we need to mention the stage should be test for this. Okay, and one more thing I want to show here. Okay, under the templates you can see we have jobs as well as security. Okay, so under the security also you can find the scanner GitLab scanning, but again if you see it is simply calling the same job container scanning template file. Okay, so we can include any of these in our pipeline. For example, we can mention either you can mention either jobs here, or you can mention security also, because if you mention security internally, again it will refer this jobs template. Okay, And okay, so this is required, like you have to define the one of the stage as test, and this is the image name that I'm just creating. And here, since we are building the Docker image, we need to use the Docker uh, in the Docker image as a service, so that the runner can use this Docker service to build and push the images to the content registry. Okay. And this is for logging to the content registry that we have already discussed. And in the build job, we simply here building the Docker image. I have mentioned here the path is .src for the Docker file, because you can see my Docker file is available under this source folder. Okay, so if your Docker file included in the root directory, then you can just mention here dot. And this will simply, once it is created, it will display the images that it's created with this name. Okay, then you can post that Docker images, okay, to the content registry. And this job will only execute whenever we'll push the code from the main repository. Next, uh, suppose you want to test the image, okay, just how to pull the image, and you want to run the image, then you can include another job here. Okay, and this again use the image docker latest. I mean, this is the runner that use this docker latest image for pulling that image, and to run the um, image in that runner. Okay, so this is only for testing. It is not mandatory mm, for this demo, just to show like how we can pull the image. Okay, how we can run it. Okay, so once run, it will automatically remove that uh, image as well. Okay. Next, we'll go to check how we can scan that uh, uh, image. Okay, so here the job name we should mention container scanning. So that is mandatory also, because this image, sorry, the job, it's already defined here. If you go to templates and jobs, under job, we can see the container scanning GitLab. So you can see the job name is this. So we have to use the same job here in our GitLab pipeline. And here we have to pass few things like allow failure. Suppose allow failure false. That means force pipeline to fail if this job fails. If this scanning fails, then job should also fail. That we are mentioning here. Okay. Otherwise, if I'm not mentioning, then even if there is uh, uh, any vulnerabilities like of critical or high, then still it will try to push the image or deploy the image. Okay. So in order to restrict that, we can mention this allow failure false. Okay. Before script, what you are doing, okay, that we'll discuss what is it doing. Then in variables, what you have mentioned, like which image it you want to scan. Okay, we're mentioning the image name. So this image basically we have created here, we have built it and pushed it, and we also tested it by pulling it from the content registry. So the same uh, docker image we want to scan. And what severity we want to check, we want to check the severity medium. Okay, threshold we have mentioned here medium. Okay, or we can put any critical or high threshold. And security log level is debug. Okay, so that we can mention here. Next, what is there, like suppose as I told, right, even if there is some critical vulnerabilities available, but still it will not stop our the next stage to deploy into the cluster. Or suppose we are pushing it to Docker images or doing something with that image, right, still it will not stop. So that we need to do manually with some script. Okay, to do that, to stop that, what we can do is we can check, um, we mentioned like scan it, gtcs scan, and severity count we want to find out. Okay, so if severity count high, okay, then we'll just check. If severe count is available high, then simply severity high, and it will exit. Okay, so it's not to proceed to the next job, because if you see our deploy is we are simply it will not again go to the next step to deploy our application. For example, it is a dummy one, but suppose in our real world application, once we scan, it should deploy it. But if there is any vulnerabilities, then it should exit here. Okay, so this way we can see, like here I have mentioned high. So if you mention high, then if any high vulnerabilities are available, then it will exit. Okay, then it will, our job will, uh, I mean, it will not success here. Okay, and the deploy also not execute. Okay, and in order to check this, we are using JQ. Okay, this is for this is the tool for doing that. What we are doing before script, we are deploying this. Okay, we are installing JQ here. Okay, and one more thing what we are doing is, we have mentioned the image name here, but we need to put that, export that image. Okay, as environment variable we have to keep that, so that this will read that image name. Okay, here. Yeah, so that's all now. So if we run this pipeline, if we can go here into the build and pipeline. Okay, so I have run it before a couple of times. Now let me run it again to show you how it execute. So if you see, it will build fast. Then we have container scanning, test image, then deploy. Okay, so these are the different jobs. In under build stage we have the build job, and under test we have test image. So test image job, simply it is pulling the docker image and running it just to verify. And container scanning job, it scan the job and detect any vulnerabilities if it's there. Okay, and if depending upon the threshold, okay, so we need to, it will, whether it will exit or it will proceed, it will decide. Okay, and if the scanning is success, then it will deploy. The deploy job will execute, but it is just a dummy deploy. It doesn't do anything, just uh, display some information. Okay, now if we go to container scanning here, it is running now. It will take a few seconds. It's trying to, it's preparing the executor here. Okay, let me go see test image. It is already executed. Okay, so test image, what it does, it just pull the image from the content registry. Okay, then it does, it is displaying the image name that pull. You can see here, test image, test image. It is pulling the image, then displaying the image whatever it's pulled from there. You can see it pulled that image here. Okay, then it will run again. You can see it will run, and hello from Docker. It displays that once that image run, right, it will this run this image pulled and run successfully. Okay, so it is just to test that our Docker image pushed into the content registry, and build and push into the content registry, and this just tested it. Now we'll do the scanning. Let's go to the scan job again. Yeah, it is done. So if we go here, container scanning, we can see, okay, you can come, yeah, here, see, yeah, it does here many things. And if you come down, it's scanning here. Okay, so here it is Trivy version. If you see, it shows Trivy. It internally, as I told, right, it is used Trivy to internally to scan the images. Under this, if we come, right, yeah, here we can see the severity. Okay, so you can see here it is shows medium, all medium severity here. Okay, there is no, it didn't find any high or critical severity. Okay, and this, because of because of this, the pipeline, it got success. Okay, it got success, and deploy also, the deploy job also it was executed. You can see it didn't find any high severity here, so that there is it no severity found, and this job successfully executed. Then next stage got executed. If we can come here again, I can show one more time. It should show, you can see here, no severity found. Okay, You can see no severity found. And also if you see, it will create a uh, in your code you can see, so this scanning, right, it will generate a um, container scanning report .json. Okay, and that we can find here. If you go download or browse, we can find that. And if we go here, this is the file, and you can go and see. Okay, and then this is, we cannot read it properly. Then if you want to go any JSON viewer, if you go to any JSON viewer, right, and let's open this. Here you just mention. Okay, you can see here whatever it is shows here. Okay, all things you can see. Okay, or you can to go here. Let me just print here both you can see. Format JSON view. You can see here everything you can see, like you can see severity, whatever severity, right, we can see here. Okay, so this way we can download that from here we can download it. You can directly download from here as well, or you can browse it. Okay, you can, if you go inside this, you can see this report. Okay, and using any JSON viewer you can analyze that. Okay, you can also from the console also you can see like this. Okay, and now suppose let me just check this condition. Let me modify it to medium. Okay, if the severity medium also, let don't deploy our, let break this job, and don't push or don't deploy our application, right? So if you want to do that one, let me just check in this code. Okay, then let me push it gtr. Okay, git commit -m something I'm just putting, then git push origin, good paste, git push origin main. Okay, let me just push this. Okay, now let me just see again, go to the pipeline, it should run the trigger the pipeline. That just now it triggered. Okay, just now it's triggering, but we'll see whether it is failing or not. This time it should, the container scanning should fail, as we mentioned the severity as medium, and in the condition here we checking if it is medium, I mean the severe count is more than 1, then it will break exit. Okay, let just wait a couple of minutes, we'll see this. Okay, let it execute. We can also, let me explain. I have mentioned there is another pipeline here. So as I told, the GitLab template itself use Trivy. Even we can use our own. We can include Trivy itself in our pipeline instead of using the GitLab template. Okay, so it is same thing like you how have you can use your this and build the Docker image, and you can test the image. Okay, and in your scan we can write our own job name. Okay, it is not same what to, we have mentioned here. Okay, this is mandatory when we use this template, GitLab template. We need to mention container scanning, but that is not mandatory here. Okay, we can use any job name here, and here the image name we have to mention like aquasec trivy latest. Okay, endpoint is this something. Okay, and I just mentioned dependencies on build. Okay, and here on the script, what is doing trivy image format is this severity critical. Okay, severity critical, and it will create, it will use this image, and it will report to this scanning report JSON, right? It will generate a report here. It will scan the image and generate this report. Okay, and it will create an artifact. Okay, we'll see how it will, we can run this one. Okay, let go to again see what is happening. Let me, yeah, as I told, it failed here. Okay, So if you go here and you can see severity found, okay, because it medium, there are medium severities are available, and because of this it failed. Okay, uh, so our pipeline does not proceed as it found is error in the image, severity in image, and it is deploy is skipped. Okay, okay, so that's fine. So we just learned how we can use scan the Docker images using the GitLab provided templates. Suppose you want to use your own tree in your pipeline, then we can do that also. Let me rename this as something. I just name it, and here I'll I'll rename it to CI. Okay, so this is my GitLab pipeline now, and here I'll use tree itself to scan the image, same image I want to scan here. Okay, let me doing this. Let me just push it again. Let me save this. Okay, so git add, git commit, git sorry send. Okay, done. Now let's see. We will see the pipeline again. Now it is started. You can see here, and here if we see, it is using the same. I'm using the same here. You can see container scan. Okay, this is my job here. Okay, this build will try to build the image and post it into the container registry. It will take a couple of minutes to do this. Also, one thing we need to, whatever the severity you can see here. Okay, we have the dashboard here, but here I cannot enable this, and that again required to the we need to use. I mean, we have to provide it in order to enable this, right? You can use okay, you have to upgrade it, or you have to use static free trial. Okay, so either you have to enable free trial, or you have to upgrade it. Okay, so then you can view some vulnerability or the dashboard for whatever the um, any issues or any vulnerabilities that we can it will display here few of the vulnerabilities dashboard. Okay, but I cannot do here as if you want to do that again, you need to enable this, and for enabling this the project should be also in the, so if you come to the pipeline again, you can see the pipeline, it is completed, and you can come to the container scan. We can see it created this and also generated the report, scanning report JSON. So this way also we can include TV itself in your pipeline to scan the image. Okay, so that's all about how to scan images in GitLab pipeline by using the GitLab provided templates or using the tool TV itself in the GitLab pipeline. So that's all about today. Please go through this. If you have any doubt or anything, just comment it on the comment section so that we can discuss it in future lab. Thank you so much. Bye bye.